up from Waitress and the star of Waitress and many, many other West End shows. It's Lucie Jones, and Lucie Jones is with me now. Hi, Lucie. How are you today?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm all right, but I've retired from presenting now, so actually doing this interview is the first time I've been in front of a microphone for a little while. So please forgive me if I'll do my best anyway.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you'll be wonderful. It never leaves you.
No, I'm sure of that. But I want to talk about your dates with the Full Tone Orchestra, because a 50-piece orchestra is something that you really need to shout about. But before we do that, I want to talk about one of your musicals that a lot of people might not know you did, and that is Ghost the Musical. Chinese tour. Is that any different to like doing a UK tour?
No, the only difference is that you're in China, I suppose. We started the job with a little press tour. So myself and the guy who was playing Sam flew out to China, and we went around the big cities, and we sang a song from the show, and we did some interviews and things like that in all the places that we were going to visit. A bit of a whistle-stop tour, if you will. And then we came back home for a couple of months, and then off we went. And it was weekly touring, as you would in the UK. But it was, it's a very, very big country. So it was always involving a flight from place to place. And then we'd stay in a hotel rather than sorting our own accommodation out, which I'm sure you can imagine would be quite difficult in mainland China, unless you speak Chinese, I suppose. But we didn't. So they put us up in lovely hotels, and we had a great time. The show is exactly the same as it was in the West End. And the audiences in China just loved it. It's one of the... I think I'm correct in saying this. It's one of the first films that was shown in China from the Western world in its entirety, without kind of it being changed. Or when the Cultural Revolution happened in China and the people demanded their rights, it was one of the first films that came from the Western world that was exactly the same as it was for us here or in America or, wherever. So they love the film, as a country, and we were received greatly everywhere we went. It was a brilliant job. I loved it.
What are the venues like? Are they traditional theatres as we would know them, or are they big arenas?
Absolutely. Exactly the same as how I would say like modern British theatres. We've not got we didn't perform in any historical venues that, were steeped in Chinese theatrical history. We were playing in big modern houses. So think along the lines of the Millennium Centre in Cardiff. But these places were humongous, like thousands and thousands of seats. And we sold out everywhere we went. It was amazing.
But now let's come a bit closer to home, shall we? 2010, you get signed up to be Cosette. A decade later, you're playing your mum. And Elle Woods is another one that you keep returning to. Is this something that you like doing, going back to the same show?
Do you know what? I don't know. I've never really thought about it that way. Les Mis, I've done it 3 times now as 2 different characters. But the time in the middle, I was Fontaine in the concert version during COVID times. So that was quite different in itself. Elle Woods, the first time I played Elle Woods was at Curve with a wonderful team at Leicester Curve, with Nikolai Foster. And it just wasn't long enough. I just wasn't ready to let go of her. So when the tour came around, I jumped at the chance. I've done Waitress twice as well. I've done Waitress in the West End and on the road. So yeah, it seems to be a bit of a recurring theme for me. I need Ghost to come back now, don't I? And we will rock you. And
yeah, that is an awful name for a character. Meat. It's
Meatloaf. It's Meatloaf. Yeah, when you've seen the show, it all makes perfect sense. But being called Meat on your CV is a bit weird. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I'm looking forward to seeing it at the Coliseum in the summertime. But then all of a sudden, Wicked came out of nowhere. You were suddenly green and flying.
Yeah, I wanted to play Elphaba for a long, long time. And we've had a couple of close calls in the past. But 2022 was my time. So I played the role for just under 14 months, and it was brilliant. I love the show so much. And it was a once in a lifetime kind of experience playing a role like that. The songs are incredible. You fly every day. the support that you get from the wicked fan base is like nothing else. It was an incredible experience.
And your reviews were excellent as well, but I'm not surprised because you were fabulous. But
thank you.
What's it like being up there?
Do you know, the first time I did it, I've got a video actually, which I will never ever share. It was just for me moment, because it's quite an iconic moment the first time you do these things, and I've got documentation from my whole career just for myself. And I've got this little video of the first time I flew, and you can see it all over my face. I'm elated. As I'm flying, you can see me getting more and more excited, and it really was amazing. Like anything else, if you do it every day, you become kind of immune to it and you just get on with it. But the thrill never left me of, is this really going to happen? Because occasionally you don't fly, and you have what's called a no-fly show. And, Wicked are fantastic, and they put all of these other wonderful pieces of work into place so that the audience don't miss out on anything. They don't feel like they're cheated of anything. You still get that incredible bit of song at the end of Defying Gravity, and the lighting, and it's amazing what they do. But yeah, the excitement of doing it never left me. Definitely.
The one that gets me in that show always is For Good.
The last few weeks of doing the show, that one was always emotional.
I'm sure. But now, at the end of April, you're going out just for a few dates. We're going to go out on the 27th of April to Reading at the Hexagon, the 29th of April at the Forum in Bath, the 30th of April at the very lovely Pavilion Theatre right by the sea in Bournemouth. And then on the 5th of May, you go in home to Cardiff to St. David's Hall. But it's not just you singing songs. You've got a 50-piece orchestra. Amazing.
Yeah, 50-piece orchestra is something that you dream of, and I've done it a couple of times in things like Magic at the Musicals, and with these incredible groups of musicians led by amazing conductors in beautiful venues. But doing it in your own name is quite a different beast. And oh my goodness me, I'm so excited. It really is a thrilling sound to listen to and to sing along with. And I can't wait to take it out, and so people can experience what I've been experiencing in rehearsal. It's just magical. And the way we've put the set list together is, I always start with, I'm a big fan of this kind of thing, right? I love musical theatre. I love going to sit in a concert and watching and listening. So I sit down and go, what would I want to hear? If I was coming to see Lucie Jones and the Full Tone Orchestra, what songs would I hope would be there, and what might, excite me in that moment? And what would I think, oh, that was unexpected, or never thought she could sing that, or would sing that, or, I try and build it that way, because I am a fan of these kind of things. And I can easily put myself in that position of, okay, if I was going to go and see you, for example, if I was a big fan of you and your work, then I'd absolutely be, oh, I hope he sings this. I hope he does this. I wonder if he'd ever do this. And, I try and think of it that way. So the program we've come up with is super exciting, and I'm so chuffed. I can't wait to do it.
Have you put any songs in your set list that you've always wanted to sing, but you've never had the chance to?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing, because I was also thinking about the size of the orchestra, because like if you think about when you go and see Waitress, for example, the band are on stage and there's only there's 6 or 7 or 8 of them. I can't remember the exact setup that we had, but you can see them and they still make this incredible, beautiful sound, but it's a different sound to what you get if you have a 3-piece or a 10-piece, or this orchestra is a specific thing and it's a gift to be able to play with them. So we tried to choose songs that lend themselves to that size of band, orchestra, music, whatever you want to say. And so there are some things in there that I've always wanted to do and maybe just haven't had the cojones to do so far, So here we go with the bravery and 50 incredible musicians to play with, That's
a word that I can translate as well. But I recently went to see Joe Stilgo live.
Joe Stilgo, yeah.
And he had an orchestra of the same size. And the sound was just incredible. And I can't wait to hear that sound with your voice in front of it.
Oh, thank you. Well, I can't wait to sing it. I'm very excited.
Now, there's only 4 dates here. Can we hope to see some more? Or is this just, I want to try this, I've done it, that's ticked?
We are probably never going to do this exact show again. This will be, the only time to see this is now. And we made the decision to not stream it, not film it, not record it for an album. I really wanted this to be an in-person, intimate thing. It sounds silly to say about with so many people on stage. But I wanted it to be in the moment and just for us to enjoy together. There's been so many things over the last few years, and I've done it many, many times myself, where we want to include the people that couldn't travel because of COVID or can't get from the north or the south or wherever it is that we're doing. We're trying to share it with the world. And I just wanted to bring it back to being in the room for this one. I love working with this orchestra. I'm very sure that we'll be doing stuff together again in the future. But I don't know if it'll be the exact same show. You just don't know what's going to happen with these things. The concept of the Full Tone Orchestra, they're based in the Southwest, and they're saying we're bringing the West End to the west, to the Southwest, basically. So that's why we've started with these 4 dates. And yeah, that's where we're at currently.
It's really nice that it's actually going to be one of those you got to be there moments.
Yeah. If you're not there, then you'll miss it. And that's going to be the end of that. And it's not very often we have that anymore,
Now, I'm going to play another song in a minute because you are fabulous and we like to hear from you. But I have one last question. Of all the roles you've done in the West End, do you have a favourite?
It's a really difficult question. I think I've always gunned for specific roles, and I've had these dream roles that I wanted to do, and I've been so lucky that a few of them have come around. And I've had moments in all of them where I've thought, this is the best thing I've ever done. This is the greatest role I've ever played. This is my favourite job I've ever had. And I think that will continue because I just love what I do. There's not been a moment in my career where I've thought, oh, this is boring. Do you know what I mean? Like it's such a joy to do what I do, and I'm so lucky. I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry, I can't choose.
No, it's okay. I just wondered because I know that some people, when they look back over their career and they think, actually, of all the things I ever did, that was the best one. And I would have thought... Ask
me again in 30 years' time. Yes. And I'll let you know then.
In 30 years' time, you'll be my age.
Well, there we go. We'll revisit.
Oh, dear God, I'll be 90-something by then.
And it'll still be in your bones, my friend.
Lucie, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute joy to talk to you. And I'm really looking forward to coming down to the seaside to Bournemouth to see you at the end of the month. But Yay! Please take care, have fun, enjoy what you do, and I look forward to talking to you again sometime soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and I'll see you in the seaside.
Take care, Lucie. Thanks a lot.